There has been so much nervous chatter lately about who will eventually take over for our veteran starting quarterback. Well, that mood is changing fast because our rookie quarterback just delivered an absolutely spectacular preseason debut that left our head coach smiling on the sideline. One major analyst just ranked his performance miles ahead of his draft class peers. You really need to hear this exciting report. Please stay until the end, drop a like, and subscribe to our channel. Rookie quarterback Ty Simpson electrified the fan base on August 15th, completing 21 of 25 passes for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns during his preseason debut against the Kansas City Chiefs. I watched as he started the contest 15 for 15, showcasing a level of accuracy that immediately caught the attention of everyone on the sidelines. His passer rating reached 125.0, a mark that reflects the composure he displayed under pressure. I find it remarkable that he completed 8 passes in the fourth quarter alone, including 2 critical throws of 20-plus yards that moved the chains when the game was on the line. He connected with Dean Connors over the middle and threaded a difficult pass to Mark Redmond between defenders, displaying the exact poise required to survive in this league. Watching Sean McVay's demeanor shift from the frustration seen on draft night to a genuine smile as Simpson executed the offense was telling. Some analysts already suggest Simpson performed better than any other rookie quarterback in their debuts, and it is not particularly close. Fans are naturally buzzing, wondering if they are witnessing the future of the franchise, despite the coaching staff maintaining that he remains third on the depth chart behind Matthew Stafford and Stetson Bennett. What makes this even bigger is the way Simpson navigated the pocket while under heavy duress to find his targets along the sideline. Is this just a preseason flash in the pan, or are we witnessing the beginning of a legitimate transition at the most vital position on the roster? I am curious to see if this performance forces the staff to accelerate his development in the coming weeks, or if they will keep him buried behind the veterans regardless of his clear production on the field. Could this specific preseason outing force a total rethink of the depth chart in Los Angeles? Before this explosive performance, the narrative surrounding the rookie signal caller was focused entirely on his adjustment period behind the veteran presence of Matthew Stafford and the established backup Stetson Bennett. My sources indicate that the coaching staff remains publicly committed to that hierarchy. Yet the optics on the field painted a completely different picture during those 4 quarters. What nobody is talking about is the quiet pressure now mounting on the front office to reconcile their long-term developmental plans with the immediate, undeniable production of a player who looked at times like a seasoned starter against the Kansas City Chiefs. Does a 125.0 passer rating truly get ignored, or does it signal that the organization must expedite his transition into a primary role? Watching his composure under pressure, I saw a player who is clearly ready for more responsibility than his current standing suggests. It is rare for a third stringer to display such surgical precision while staring down a live pass rush. The coaching staff is clearly walking a fine line, protecting his development while acknowledging the obvious talent that recently shifted the atmosphere on the sideline. If he continues to thread passes into tight windows between multiple defenders, keeping him in the shadows becomes increasingly difficult for the decision-makers at the top of the organization. Are they holding him back by design, or are they genuinely convinced that the current veteran rotation provides the best path to success? I think the answer lies in how quickly he can replicate this production against higher-level defensive looks. If the efficiency holds, the question won't be about his spot on the chart, but about when he takes his first meaningful snaps in a regular season game. Transitioning from the raw numbers to the wider implications, I find myself looking at a franchise that now faces a genuine dilemma. Here's what people are missing. This performance changes the internal temperature of the quarterback room. While the coaching staff remains locked into the hierarchy of Matthew Stafford, Stetson Bennett, and the rookie, the level of precision displayed on the field forces a difficult conversation about the future. I believe the immediate impact is a shift in how the organization assesses their depth chart for the coming season. Does a passer rating of 125.0 really stay hidden on the third line? When you look at upcoming games, the pressure on the coaching staff to give the youngster snaps increases, especially if the veteran starters struggle early on. My view is that the front office must now weigh the risk of keeping such potential on the bench against the desire to protect him for future years. This is not just about the regular season. It is about establishing a successor to Stafford who actually proves he can handle pressure. I see this move as a pivot point for the division standings. If this rookie continues to deliver, the gap between this club and their rivals in the NFC West could tighten, potentially altering the playoff picture. The organizational confidence in the current plan is being tested by reality, and I am watching closely to see if Sean McVay adjusts his approach during upcoming preseason drills. Does the staff lean into the youth movement, or do they hold firm, hoping the veterans lead the way? These questions are now the primary focus for every observer tracking this roster's development through August. Because talent that shines this bright typically demands a much larger stage sooner than the team initially planned. Prioritizing the long-term potential of a rookie signal caller like Ty Simpson creates a significant internal pressure point for the front office. On one hand, his efficiency against the Kansas City Chiefs highlights an undeniable upside, proving he possesses the arm talent and mental sharpness to command an offense under live fire. Many observers are pointing to this specific performance as the gold standard for rookie debuts, suggesting that the distance between his current ability and that of his peers is substantial. I look at those 2 touchdown passes and that 125.0 passer rating as a clear indicator of a developmental trajectory that is moving much faster than the typical timeline for a third-string option. The downside is equally clear, as leaning into an unproven talent too quickly can derail the rhythm established by Matthew Stafford and Stetson Bennett. Rushing this transition risks burning a young asset who still needs steady, quiet time to refine his game behind veteran leaders. This is where it gets real, because the organization must balance this immediate promise against the reality of their current competitive window. While head coach Sean McVay continues to publicly emphasize the established depth chart, those smiles on the sideline during the game spoke volumes about how the staff truly feels regarding the rookie's progress. Some analysts are already elevating the conversation beyond a simple preseason spark, openly questioning if Simpson is the definitive answer to follow the veteran starter. My honest take here is that while the hype is grounded in legitimate film, we must temper the desire for an immediate change with the reality of his standing behind 2 established pros. Regardless of his stellar debut, the coaching staff will likely stick to their plan for now, forcing us to watch whether this momentum continues or settles into the standard rhythm of a lengthy development year. When I piece together the performance of Ty Simpson against the Kansas City Chiefs with the internal team dynamics, a clear picture of a franchise at a crossroads emerges. My bottom line read is simple. A 125.0 passer rating in any debut is impossible to ignore, regardless of his current status. This indicates that the organization has a difficult, high-stakes decision ahead regarding their long-term succession plan. While the staff insists on keeping him behind Matthew Stafford and Stetson Bennett, the physical evidence of his 21 for 25 outing suggests that waiting might be a missed opportunity. And honestly, watching a rookie move the ball with such poise under duress tells me he is far more advanced than a typical third-string developmental prospect. The real question for this organization is whether they can afford to prioritize patience over the potential of a young quarterback who is clearly showing he can handle the lights. If Sean McVay continues to see this kind of production, keeping Simpson buried on the depth chart will become a source of significant external friction for the front office. I am curious to hear your take on this strategy. Do you believe the coaching staff should prioritize developing him in the shadows for another season? Or is it time to move him ahead of Stetson Bennett immediately? Furthermore, if he replicates this 190-yard, 2-touchdown efficiency in his next appearance, do you think the franchise must consider him a legitimate contender for the starting job by mid-season? Please share your perspective in the comments below, because I truly want to know how the fan base feels about this unexpected quarterback dilemma. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel, Rams House. I'll see you in the next one.